got mail.
What up? Friday, meaning Marsh, mailbag time. Reminder, you can put your questions in through the Google form. You can also shoot an email over to Marsh at SimWorldSports.com. Appreciate all the questions that came in. We're going to get to a handful of them, so I don't got much more preclude than that outside of sending a question, and we will answer it. And that's about all I got for you. So diving right on in. All right, first question up. Go debate for basketball. Who do I think is the number one player? I think it's still Michael Jordan. I'm not a big one that subscribes to the theory that championships matter, that 06 means more than 4, or that the fact that LeBron lost any finals means that he should not be the champion. I mean, I think that's bogus, because if we're going to go that route, then, well, that means that Bill Russell unequivocally is the best player of all time. I mean, if that's how we're playing this game of championships matter, then Bill Russell's the best of all time, right? If we're going to go stats matter, then Kareem's the best player of all time. I know LeBron has since surpassed him in points, but if you look at what Kareem did in his years at UCLA before making it to SWBA, his statistics are unmatched. So to me, I think those two arguments, which we see a lot of, is just completely bogus. To me, there's a couple things. I value what people tell us they saw, okay? And it's why I continue to hold high regard for Bill Russell and not as high regard for Wilt Chamberlain. Obviously, I wasn't around to see either of them. But I think that it matters when somebody from that era can tell us about what it is. And while I was still just a wee old pup in the Michael Jordan days, I still think the impact that he had, and if you go back and watch just the ability to take over, it's MJ. He played it so well on both ends of the floor. Defensive Player of the Year, obviously multiple-time MVP. Yeah, you can point to the 6-0 mark, but I think the problem for LeBron is, truthfully, I think it's a lot of Dallas in 2011 and his inability to beat a team that he should have beaten. Yeah, I think somewhat he gets saved a little bit in the 2016 finals because he beats a team that he probably shouldn't have beaten. But if you look at MJ, beyond on the floor, right, where there was no equal, right, at no point until his time with the Wizards and outside of his early, late 80s or mid 80s timeline, there was no one better than MJ in his era. At points in LeBron's era, there have been people that have been better than LeBron, or I shouldn't say that. Been people that were capable or argued to be better than LeBron. This is as much it's LeBron's era as it is Steph Curry's era, as it was Kobe Bryant's era. If you look from 2003 to 2025, I don't think we sit here and say this is the LeBron era. It overwhelms it. It sits over it, but you get all these pockets. There were no pockets in MJ's peak. At LeBron's peak, it was the Warriors. It was the Spurs. I think there's a real case to be made that of all the finals that LeBron played in, he really only should have won one of them. And that was the Oklahoma City Thunder one. So to me, that's what it comes down to. I'm not going to sit here and if you want to tell me that LeBron James is the best player in basketball, fine. I truthfully don't care that much. But MJ was better. Now, if you want to say somebody else was better, like Kobe, miss me with that one. I know I'm going to upset some people, but I do not think Kobe Bryant is a top 5 player in the league. I think that he has a massive persona that was incredibly influential, and that matters. But if we're talking GOAT, I've still got MJ. I don't know what it would take to surpass MJ. I think there's certainly guys that are capable. I will also add this. I think LeBron is the more skilled player, but I think MJ was he was the greatest of all time. Okay, if that makes sense. It's the same way that Tom Brady wasn't necessarily the most skilled quarterback, but he remains the greatest quarterback of all time. Patrick Mahomes could get there. I don't know if he will or not, but that's why I've got MJ. It's a good question. It's a valid question. I think there's probably 2 seasons left for LeBron. I really do. I think that there are 2 years left for LeBron. I think the introduction of Luka extends that because I think he's got championship window much larger than it was before. He's gotten his chance to play with Bronny. I definitely don't think he's leaving LA. If you ever see any article or if you hear us ever talk about it, and it's something I shouldn't say never, but I hope to never bring up on any of my platforms. LeBron's not leaving Los Angeles. I would be shocked if LeBron leaves Los Angeles. There's just no reason to. Forget about the fact that Luka's there now. Forget about the fact that they drafted Bronny. There's just no reason for LeBron to leave Los Angeles. To go win a championship with the Warriors. It's not going to happen. Not that they couldn't win a championship. It's not going to happen that they leave. So I think if you ever see somebody saying, hey, could LeBron leave Los Angeles? You could, in my opinion, I'm tuning out. I am not here for that argument. I would say he's got 2 seasons left. The addition of Luka gives them a championship window. I think he's obviously coming back next season. You're going to revamp it. I think that the year after that is it. It still feels weird to think that LeBron will ever retire, though, considering the level at which he's played. Forget about the durability question marks. I don't honestly know if his durability is legitimate, a lack of it, or if it's just he does not feel like playing 82 games. I could go both. I do think he's gotten hurt, so I don't subscribe to the thought that, LeBron didn't have this groin injury most recently, and he wasn't playing just because he wanted to rest. I think he got hurt. He was hurt. I just don't think that he looks at this and says, I could play through this right now in the same way that you hear about guys playing through stuff where he says, I don't care. I know that if I step on the floor in the postseason, I'm a top 5 player in the playoffs, and I can turn it on, and I've got a great co-partner in Luka Doncic to be able to do that. So I think he's got next season where you get a full offseason to build around him and Luka, and I think it's one more year after that. All right, let's head to college basketball. A couple questions coming in. With Texas, a game behind Kansas, who I think what do I think about the Big 12 and the final 2 teams that will meet at the end of the regular season? Let's just get up real quick the standings, because I think we've done the math, and everybody loves a good let's count games left and games back segments. But I do think it's going to be Kansas and Texas. I actually still really like Texas in that one. I know they lost at home to Kansas. It's a game up on Dayton right now. Texas 8-2, Dayton 7-3. But of course, Texas has the head-to-head advantage there. And then the secondary tiebreaker is the overall record, which Texas has. They would really have to fall apart. So it's going to be Texas. It's going to be Kansas. I think it's going to be a battle, but I just like Texas. But let me caveat that by saying Nas Hall continues to ball. I know I talked about him last week. Nas Hall is super good right now. I mean, I saw people talking, he doesn't have as many points as this guy, is that guy. Points don't matter, man, especially when you're sharing the ball with Madison Miles. Like, there's a reason that this team, as I said last week, there's only 2 guys on that roster. There's only 2 teams in college basketball that have 2 guys averaging 15 or more points. One of them's Kansas. And it's because Nas Hall has been fantastic. I remain to be thinking that he's a top 5 freshman in the season. In college basketball. I don't know how you argue against that right now with the way he's been playing. So I think the Big 12 it's Kansas, it's Texas. I still, though, like Texas in the championship game there, just because they've been a little bit more consistent. As of late, it's been Kansas who's won 8 straight games. Don't look now. They're actually overall just a half game or a game and a half back of Texas for better record, but something draws me back to Texas in ways that I don't always get drawn back to Kansas. All right, hear a lot about Syracuse losing all season. Do they have a chance at winning a single game with their remaining schedule? Let me tell you what, folks, don't look good. All right, this is the upcoming schedule. 5 games left for Syracuse. At Louisville, versus Duke, versus Miami, at Notre Dame, versus Florida State. The only game I pencil on there and say I think they could win is Notre Dame. Notre Dame has not had a great season in the ACC. They're currently sitting there at 8-16, 3-6 overall. Of course, Syracuse 0-24, the only winless team in all of college basketball. They're not going to beat Louisville. They're not going to be. I shouldn't say they're not, because they've been playing a lot better as of late. I mean, they lost to North Carolina by 5, Georgia Tech by 9, but they shouldn't lose to Louisville or beat Louisville. They shouldn't beat Duke. They shouldn't beat Miami. Florida State has been up and down, but Florida State's shown that they can rise to the occasion. They're only ever so slightly better than Notre Dame. But I think Notre Dame's the only winnable game left on that calendar for them. I don't know that they get it done. It seems unlikely. It's so improbable that a team could play 29 games and not win a single one. So math tells me that they're going to win one. But you're not going to see me picking them to win a single game the rest of the way. I'm not predicting they go winless because, like I said, that's so hard. But to not win a single game, seems possible with the schedule that they have left. So if I have to choose, I'm going to say no, they don't win another game, just considering 3 of those games are against 3 of the top 4 teams in the ACC. Not great, Bob. Not great at all. Okay, which SimWorld prep coach do I think would be a good fit for Miami's vacancy? I wouldn't be surprised if they try to do something within college. If they try to take somebody from one of the, I'll start with that. I'm just starting there. Do you try to poach somebody out of Princeton? UNLV's had a really good season. Could you try to snag somebody from there? Do you look around, some of these mid-majors, if you will? Marquette's had an impressive season now that we're into conference play. Is that a step up to go to a defending champ, or is it good enough to stay in Marquette? I think the job is better in Miami, so I just want to start with that. I wouldn't be shocked if we see something within it. But if I'm going to prep, I think Tomas Kusa's the best fit. And I think the reason is Tomas Kusa has a track record, and that's not to take anything away from any of the other head coaches out there, but Tomas Kusa has a track record of being able to attract good talent and get the most out of more mediocre talent, right? The pro, yes, he brings in Glory Tate. Yes, he gets to coach Tyson Simpson. Guess what? Both of those guys had fantastic seasons when they played underneath him in SimWorld Prep. So he's proven he could take a good guy and make them good. And then on top of that, he's had the track record of taking teams internationally and saying, and internationally based rosters, which is tough to do, and making them very good on the prep scene. So if I'm finding a coach, if I'm Miami, I'm saying I need somebody that's coached really good players and that's gotten the most out of maybe not so good players. And that's what Tomas Kusa has done in his time in SimWorld Prep. So if I had to pick somebody, that's the one I'm going with. And our last question, can I coop in real life? My frame is built for contact sports and not basketball. Vertically, not capable of doing it. The jumper's decent, so slap me on a guard. I can play some defense and I can shoot some threes. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you. We're gonna get some jumpers up. Let's go with that. Jumpers up, and you're gonna have a handful of great bounce passes to cutters. That's the game that we're bringing to you. Which, considering the complexion, maybe that tracks. But that's it. All right, that is Marsh Mailbag. We're putting the form sheet in here. Feel free to submit them. Please do. We'll be back next Friday to put them all and answer some more. It can be real life. It could be as in real life being like not hoops, or we could talk hoops. It's up to you, man. I'm good with all the above. So we'll talk to you again on Monday with SimWorld Today and, of course, the Marsh Pod. Back here on Fridays with Marsh Mailbag.